Hello, I am Paula Bennett and welcome to the last episode of Season 5 of Ask Me Anything. One thing I've learned in life is it's never too late to learn something new. So on this podcast, I talk to people from all walks of life to hear about how they got to where they are and get some advice and guidance on life's biggest questions. My guest is looking a bit nervous now. With Newshub entering its last week, I've called in one of their stars to chat about it. Ryan Bridge started out in radio with RNZ. He's worked on Three's current affairs show Story, hosted Drive Show on Magic Talk before heading back to Newshub. Last year, he made the switch from host of AM to spearhead the new 7 p.m. show, but with the unfortunate closure announcement that never came about. Ryan is now heading to Newstalk ZB to replace Kate Hawkesby as host of Early Edition. Ryan, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to your new place of work.
Thank you. It feels very weird to be here. I wasn't expecting to be starting a new job or, going to a new office or anything like that. So this is a weird thing, but a very exciting thing.
Good. That's what we like to hear. Okay, my 2 rules for my podcast is I'm allowed to ask you anything.
Okay.
Oh, just like that.
That's okay.
Okay, good.
But and then I get to ask you something.
Yeah.
I can ask you anything.
Yeah?
Okay, I've been thinking about this.
Okay, that's... I'm not
good.
It's my least favourite bit, hey, because I like being in charge for once.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, and I call it the no judgy zone.
Okay.
Just so then we're just not dissing on other people.
Okay, fair enough.
Because it just, too much of it ain't society.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I spend most of my career doing that.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So let's take a break.
Do you cook? We're easing in. Do you cook?
No.
Not your thing?
Not my thing, really.
Don't really care?
My partner's a great cook.
Really?
So he does a lot of that. I do eggs. I love omelettes. I can do omelettes.
Okay.
Yeah, jalapenos, bit of sausage in there, chorizo, and some eggs. Bob's your uncle.
Oh, I love a good egg.
Yeah.
Love a good egg.
Yeah.
If you were having the dinner party, invite anyone, alive or dead, fantasy world.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, come on.
Well,
you must have been asked that.
Yeah, I suppose I have. I just don't think I've ever had a good answer.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you'd invite Jesus.
Yeah. I hadn't thought of that until Heather, your now new colleague, said it.
Did she say that too? Yeah. I'd go Jesus.
Then Heather did just say as well, though, that she wouldn't invite Barry because she'd just want Jesus all to herself.
Yeah, probably Jesus. You'd have to go. I would invite Beyonce personally, just to have her there.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'd ask her, but it'd be nice to have her at my house.
She is a queen.
Yeah.
Come on.
She is. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's very, very impressive.
Yeah.
How many people do you invite to this party? Jesus, Beyonce, and maybe someone like Muldoon, just for interest's sake,
Yeah, that'd
just
be
those stories and all the bits that you didn't learn at uni or you didn't read in a book,
Because I was going to say, because you'd have heard so much about him, but then you weren't around then.
That's right. Yeah.
It was well before your time.
Yeah, it was.
Because how old are you? I was just looking.
I'm 36.
Yeah, I just Googled you.
Yeah.
You're the same age as my daughter. No, that's a good thing.
That's great.
We all know that I was a child mama, so...
Yeah, that's true.
We've
spoken about that before, actually.
Yeah, we have.
So it's funny, there's a lot of politics that we talk about that, I wasn't there for,
Yeah.
And you sort of just do rely on... I mean, that's why people like you mentioned Barry Soper, great to have around.
Yeah, true.
You sit down, have a couple of beers with Barry Soper, and you've learnt more about New Zealand's political history than you would read in any textbook.
Yeah.
Or in some university lecture. So people like that are invaluable to have around.
So were you always interested in politics?
I was, yes.
Because that's always a bit weird, isn't it?
It is weird. It's sort of like, what's wrong with you? My grandma is very into politics. She used to, rant and rave about all sorts of things. And I think that's where I got my interest in politics. And then I was about 8 or 9 and I ran for class president.
Yes.
Loser. But I won.
Don't say that.
Well, I won.
My grandson just ran and he won and he's 9.
Oh, bless him. It's probably cool now. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
But yeah, so I've always been interested in it. I've always loved the theatre of it and have followed it from a young age.
Did you think you might go into politics?
I did for a while.
Yeah.
I used to actually, do you know what? I used to do some volunteering for the Labour Party when I was very young. And I can remember one particular time, it was my job to go in the shopping mall. This is in Paraparaumu on the Kapiti Coast. You know, when you're on a campaign and sometimes you'll get supporters of the party to go up and, you know, interact with the leader.
Yeah.
To make it look like they're one of the
human.
people. Yeah. And so my job was to make Helen Clark look human in this particular moment. And I had to go up to her and say, thank you for the interest-free student loans or whatever the policy was.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so and I would have been still at high school when I did that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was a member of the National Party but wasn't looking at running or anything like that at that time. And my first one was, as you say, trying to make people look good. I gave a speech at one of the conferences as the guest. You know, I did this sort of like we are normal because I'm a poor solo mum. You know,
the Paula benefit speech.
Yeah, the Paula benefit. Yeah. Māori, you know, like, there is one. I am the white rhinoceros in the National Party. Back then, very different politics now, which is fun. No politicians.
But
there is such a range now in all the parties.
Yeah.
But then, you know, back then, I was the novelty.
Do you feel like people, it's not my podcast, I shouldn't ask you.
No, you are allowed.
But like, do you feel like that was sort of thrust upon you? People were like, oh, look, there you go. You know, that's your role. Yeah.
Oh, no, not really. It was definitely my area of interest.
Right.
So I cared about it a lot. I studied it at uni.
Yeah.
So I always say I lived it, I studied it, and then I wanted to change it.
Yeah.
So, you know, so in that respect, it was fine. I mean, you got a bit sick of telling your story.
Yeah.
You know, and to be fair, it was used a little bit to humanise.
Yeah.
Which is what you were saying.
Yeah.
So when did you go off politics then? Well, being a politician.
Yeah, I think at some point during my university days, I remember I started doing a BA at Victoria University, very typically with politics and social policy, whatever it was. And then I started, 6 months through, I started to do a commerce degree alongside it. And that sort of opened my eyes to the guys that I was mates with. They're like, don't just do that BA, do this one too, because you'll actually learn something about the real world.
Yeah. True.
Which was really good advice. And somewhere in amongst there, I realised that I didn't want to get into politics. I'm not here to change the world, but I'm fascinated by it, and I'm fascinated by the people that want to do it. Yeah. And it's a great little sitting on the sidelines kind of seat to be in the media. And
do you think being gay might have played a part in you not putting your hand up like that at that time because you weren't out there, right? And you weren't out to your family either?
No. Well, I was out to my mum when I was 20.
Okay.
And then I made mum tell dad when I was overseas.
Did you?
Yeah. I can't do it. You're going to have to do it. So she did that. But so I was, to my family, it was known a little bit earlier than perhaps, you know. But no, I don't think that played a part in it at all. No.
So you weren't worried about being judged?
I mean, I was in terms of being in the media. But it wasn't something that came into my equation when thinking about whether I'd go into politics or not.
No, okay.
That was more just like, God, what a horrible thing to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
I'm not so much with sexuality now, but, you know, if you just look at the politicians and what the scrutiny and the level of it that goes on, it's just insane.
And just how naff it can become. And this is partly our fault in the media, right? Like we chase these silly little angles and then people get, you know, so focused on one silly little thing, and then 3 weeks later a minister's gone and, you know, the media's got a scalp, and I don't know, how productive is that? And do you want to be in the middle of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, so on that, let's talk about your new show.
Yeah.
when you're going to be doing that.
Yeah.
So how exciting. So you are joining, I think when this goes out, it'll be in about a week's time.
Yes.
Yes, so that sounds about right. Back to the early mornings?
Yes.
How are you feeling about that?
Oh, I thought I was sort of done with them. I thought I had them behind me. But this is a fantastic opportunity because it's first up, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, it's till 6 o'clock in the morning, it's right before Mike Hoskins' show. There are a lot of people listening to Newstalk ZB at that time, and it's a great opportunity for me to really grow a different side of my broadcasting skill set, you know. Big things for me are what's happened overnight. People want to know straight up, what's happened while they've been sleeping all around the world. It'll have a business focus because a lot of our business leaders are up at that time and tuning in, and a lot of our farmers and agricultural workers, etc. So it's going to have that kind of bent to it. I hope that it's going to be a fast, pacey, listen to this and you've got everything you need to know for the morning, and then, off you go. Well,
let's just deal with a few things that I think might come up.
Yeah.
Mike Hoskins going to come into the studio after you.
Yes, I'm told he is.
Oh my goodness! So, do you eat at your desk?
Yes, I do. I normally would have muesli.
You need a little bit of a snack, might you? Are you untidy?
I have been known to be the untidy one in the office.
OMG. Okay, have NZME really thought this through properly? Will you vacuum before he comes up? Well, you won't have time.
I won't have time. When would I be doing that? I'm doing interviews and whatnot, presumably.
Yeah, so. And the little breaks that you cook, so you don't really get breaks.
No.
Because he's a freak of
I have heard he's,
cleanliness.
He likes to vacuum. I mean, I will be as clean, I'm not going to eat at the, in the studio.
Oh, okay.
I'll eat at my desk, have some muesli at my desk while I'm doing preparation.
Okay. Oh, that's all right.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat in the studio. I think because of all the equipment, it's probably, you break something.
Yeah. And then there's, a few of them have speculated that you might, if the Hosk decides he's retiring, you might be in the mix. You haven't even started the job and I'm giving you a promotion.
I know.
How's that?
Well, a lot of people have mentioned ways that I could potentially knock him off. Do you put some
germs
something
around
in his cup of tea?
Yeah.
I'm like, settle down.
I think he'd have quite a low germ tolerance because he doesn't have any. Because he doesn't tolerate germs. It's kind of like they say with your kids, let your kids play in the dirt. It builds up their immune systems.
Don't worry, he's safe from me. I'm here to do one job and one job only.
So it's 1 week to go for everyone at Newshub. And, as a fan, I've been watching AM show and hearing, it's sort of played out publicly, right? I mean, how is everyone feeling, though, behind the scenes?
Yeah, I'm keeping in touch. I'm not going into the office myself, so I don't have my finger on the pulse of the newsroom, but I obviously have many friends, close friends who are there. I think it's been such a long process now that there is a sense of almost relief that it is coming to an end, because it was inevitable that it was going to happen. But it's hard. I mean, a lot of my mates don't have anything to go to.
Yeah.
And that sucks. And that's hard. And there is redundancy for people, but not, different amounts depending on who you are, etc., and what's going on. I have to say that I think it was, although the news was terrible, I think it was on the whole pretty well handled by those in charge at Warner Brothers Discovery in New Zealand. And I think most people are feeling the same way in that regard. However, especially for those who don't have anything immediately to go to, it's hugely unsettling, as it is for anyone who loses their gig. I'm wishing everyone the best and sending my love to everyone at Newshub.
And some people reassessing their careers.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm not going to say if it's a good or bad thing, but you know what I mean? Like, there's no harm in sometimes sitting back and reassessing and going, okay, well, if I've got another 15 or 20 years of work life in me, what does that look like? Or, it's been quite interesting. Because I've spoken to quite a few because they've seen me do a career change.
Yeah.
So, they've kind of gone, hey, you did, you kind of changed direction. What was it like? And terrifying and exhilarating all at once.
Yeah. And do you regret it?
No.
Yeah.
Not even for an instant.
There you go.
I mean, really probably last time I saw you, you were leaving the AM show to go off for that big 7. I've got to be really honest with you. The first moment I heard about Newshub, it was you and Lloyd that I thought about, because you were both just stepping up and in, right?
Yeah, it was weird timing. I had signed on to do this new thing last December.
Yeah,
and then in February we were sat down to say it and told that it's all over. I sort of thought that it would be more death by 1,000 cuts. I mean, I knew, obviously, I had seen our financial results. Yeah. I am not an idiot. I can look around the marketplace and see what's going on. I thought it would just be a lot more trimming of fat before they went whole hog and baby out with the bathwater kind of thing. However, I do understand why it happened. I also think that although it's a terrible thing to have happened, and there are lots of people who don't have jobs, there are lots of industries right now where people are in the same position, where they're losing their job and tourism, agriculture, whatever it might be. So I think it's important not to lose sight of that. But yeah, it was disappointing. Let's put it that way.
For you, just because you were stepping up into something new, right?
Yeah.
So when did you get an inkling? Were they kind of going, we won't quite shoot that yet, and we'll do photos? We'll just wait a while.
Yeah, no, what we were doing photos, we were building the set. I mean, we had, there was a amazing, cool graphic set thing happening, and we were having meetings about that. But, you sort of, especially when you're a journalist, you can kind of sense when things might be changing or people are shifting in their positions. And, I was doing calculations in my head and wondering about it. And from basically the get-go. Yeah. From coming back from holiday over summer. So, yeah, it was, I think the word that somebody put it best when they said it wasn't surprising, but it was still a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
And I was so excited about that new show, and we had grand plans and we had great things going to happen, but not everything is meant to be. And I'm incredibly grateful to have this great opportunity with NZB.
Yeah. And I do, I've had many, lots of friends in radio, and you've been on radio before. It is a more personal genre, right? Like it feels like you're really connected to your audience. You're going to get feedback pretty quickly, right?
I know. I can remember the feedback when I was last in radio, because it's a direct, text line into you, so you can see it as you're going to air. But I love radio. It's where I started. And yeah, you're right. It's a lot more personal. It's a lot more in your living room. So
you've been like more or less off for 6 months. I mean, we haven't really seen you.
Yeah.
So how's that going to go? It's you're.
It's weird. I've never. I mean, you don't normally get 6 months off unless you're like retiring or something. You know what I mean? So it is very strange. I was actually nervous coming into just the office building. I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's just come off maternity leave. She's like, "You've had my length of maternity leave, so there's no baby to speak of." Yeah. And she said, she's feeling nervous going back into the office, and I was like, "Well, I sort of am too. I just, I've basically been off for 6 months since the middle of December last year, so." It's fine because I'm still getting paid. So it's not like I'm going to, Yeah,
you can pay the mortgage.
Pay the mortgage, which is great. But yeah, it's a weird thing. I've been doing lots of exercise. I've been walking the dog a lot, been reading.
So are you, do you think that journalism is, you'll be able to just step straight back in and into it,
Good question. I think... I mean, I've obviously still been keeping up with the news, but nowhere near in the detail that I would if I was working. I'm starting to do that now, to read back into it, because, you miss something and then you sound like an absolute twit during an interview. So you need to do that. But also it's interesting taking a step back and just not being so involved in the day-to-day, not grind, but the day-to-day machinations of the media. You take a step back and you think, wow, right, how important is that? How important is that? And so I think it has been a good opportunity for me to sort of reevaluate maybe how I will approach the job now that I have one.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Other things have been happening as well while you've been away. So let's take a short break and then let's come back because I want to talk all things wedding. I'm very excited. Okay, so we're back and we are going to talk a bit about how to keep a private life when you're in the public eye, and we're going to get some advice on having bold opinions.
Ooh.
That's what I thought.
Okay, sounds good.
You're kind of paid to have opinions. Anyway, we're going to get to that because most excitedly, we're recording this just before the wedding.
Yep.
And when it comes out on Sunday, you will be a married man.
Hopefully.
Because we've got a few days to go.
He has to say, I do. Well, we both have to say, I do.
Yes. Yeah, you have to turn up at the right place at the right time and give yourselves your vows to each other.
Yeah.
Are you right? How much do you want to talk about? Are you writing your vows?
Oh, I'm happy to talk about
Yeah.
it. We're not writing individual vows. A good friend of ours is the celebrant,
Good.
Jimmy. So Jimmy's in charge. He's written a beautiful ceremony and he sent it through to us to read, which we did individually, and both of us cried. He'd written beautiful things, and he has a sort of formula for, do you take so-and-so to blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't be so blasé about
Blah, 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 blah.
And that was beautiful. And I just feel like, look, there are many non-conventional parts of this wedding.
Nice.
It's two men to begin with. It's nice to have some more conventional parts of it.
Yeah.
And I don't like it when people get up there and go, I promise to make the bed and
Yeah, it's like, do you really?
Shut up.
Yeah, and will you?
No.
No.
And no one cares.
And we don't want, and it's a bit maths now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point.
It's like they stand up and give those stupid vows and it's quite irritating.
Yeah.
It's like,
And we're doing speeches at the end of, we've got speeches from our family, and then at the very end, my partner and I will both do a brief speech to thank people and to say something to each other.
Nice.
So I feel like that's enough.
Yeah, it is enough.
That's enough.
It is enough. Yeah. And so is that another bit of the unconventional? So we've got
no, I basically just mean it's a big gay wedding. So
well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is great. It is great. And
lots of family.
Lots of family, and lots of family for whom this will be their first gay wedding to have ever attended. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I attended a gay wedding like literally weeks after it becoming law.
Oh, really?
And it was two friends that had been together for like 35 years. You know what I mean? Like it was just, and that was, I don't mean to say that I didn't give it any thought, but I didn't give it any thought. I just voted for it, right? You know what I mean? Like I didn't need to go through any big thought process for it. And then of course, so it was kind of a no-brainer for me. And then I turned up at this wedding and these older gays just literally blubbering because they just never thought they'd see this day. You know what I mean? Like it was really humbling.
Yeah, it's hugely significant. And I'm not one of those people who likes to be I'm gay, look at me, I'll speak for all gay people. But I think it is incredibly important that law change that happened. And I think it's also important, I was thinking about in my speech, do I mention, how significant it is that we are able to do this? And I think I will. I think I will say that in my speech because, we take things for granted, I think, and were that option not to be on the table, I just think, fuck, what kind of world was that? You know what I mean? And
let's not forget what's happening in other parts of the world.
Well,
and
totally.
People that don't have those sorts of rights and freedoms
100%.
That they should have.
Yeah.
It's still happening, right?
Look at the Middle East, even parts of Asia. Look at Africa. There are new laws being passed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and in some places our rights are being stripped away even more, so it is good, I think, to acknowledge it. Yeah, that's why I'm sort of saying it was a no-brainer because I don't want to undermine the significance of what it was.
Yeah.
I just happened to get hit with that literally 2 weeks later, sort of
shit.
being like, whoa, okay. Like this is, so you, sounds like there's going to be some tears in the audience.
I think there'll be tears. My mum is the kind of person who'll cry at a bank ad.
Oh, yeah, good.
And I inherited that trait from her.
Oh, great.
So there'll definitely be, and actually my partner, he's sort of the same too.
So your partner's notoriously private.
Yeah.
And I've got one that's notorious.
You do too.
Yeah, I do. So, and I respect it 100%. Just because I'm a show pony doesn't mean that he is. In fact, there's not room for it.
No.
And quite frankly, I need a stage, and for a stage you need an audience, and that's his part in life.
Do you know, my poor partner has been putting up with the fact that I don't have an audience for the last 6 months. Yes. And I keep saying, well, it's an audience of one, but I'm still performing. Shut the fuck up, Ryan. Go and get a job, you loser.
Go and do something. God. Yeah, that would be so true.
So I relate.
Yeah. So how do you respect that privacy? Because it's not easy, right? And it's not easy on them.
No.
But he does know what he's getting into as well.
He does. Yeah, he does. And I think he just doesn't like all that stuff. And I get it. It took me a while to get used to it as well. But yeah, he doesn't want to be front and center, and he knows that it's my thing, and he would prefer not to have particularly our wedding photos, etc.
Yeah, I was going to ask
splashed around and stuff like that. So that's cool. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, doesn't worry you. I mean, that's it.
That's it.
So then but you must still be approached when you're out and that sort of thing, because...
Yeah, that's a weird one, because it's obvious that he's my partner, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But people, you know what Kiwis are like? They're just the loveliest. People come up and say hello, and then they'll, quietly sort of, hold his hand or whatever and give him a squeeze. And people are absolutely lovely and wonderful and respect boundaries and privacy and stuff like that.
It's really funny though. Like I was at the pub on Saturday watching the rugby with best friends and my husband, and this guy came up, and he was a big unit, as my husband said. And he came up and he goes, "Sorry, but I'm going to be bloody rude." And I instantly knew that he didn't mean it. But my husband and my friend thought he was going to have a bit of a go at me, and then they were like, "Well, we're going to have to." He just meant rude as in interrupting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then proceeded to tell me how wonderful he thought I was. So it was perfectly acceptable in my mind.
Yeah.
But it was quite funny because my husband was like, he goes, "Oh my God." And I was thinking, what are we going to do about this? Because I don't want to have to go. I don't want to tell him off. He's huge. But as you say, Kiwis are just so lovely, generally.
Yeah. I think there's one time that I got that a lady in a supermarket said something to me. I can't remember what, but it was negative, Yeah. Apart from that, everyone's cool.
So does he feel, though, if you are being criticised for something you've done or something like that, does he feel it more than you? Because I always find my husband almost feels it more than I do, or my parents feel it more than I do.
Yeah. Yes, I think there was definitely a time, because when we first got together, I was in radio. Yeah, I would have been doing Drive, I think.
Yeah.
At Radio Live or Magic Talk, whatever it was. And there were definitely times where, I was sort of being taken to task about stuff, and it was getting personal messages in the inbox, and I wasn't coping with that particularly well.
Yeah.
I was not sleeping at night and stressing about it and thinking about the tiny little thing. And so he really felt that too. And he was a huge help and support to getting me, through those little moments. And now it's like, do I care? Not really.
No. Yeah.
But yes,
And you've been together long enough now that he's ridden through it as well, and highs and lows.
That's it.
Yeah.
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 And sometimes you might even question, something, and then, you just look at him and he'll go, "Just fucking get over it, mate."
Yeah. So who's organised the wedding?
Largely him.
Yeah. But you did the proposal.
I did the proposal, which I thought was quite key.
Yes.
I'm doing the photographer, the DJ, and the hair and makeup, which I'm getting Katie and Josie, who you'll know from TV3.
Yeah, good.
They're coming up to do hair and makeup for us.
Yeah.
So I have some important jobs.
Yes.
But he's doing...
How involved has your mother been?
Mum wants to be more involved.
But we all do.
Yeah, I've just been like, no, you're all right. I mean, she works full-time. This is making it sound like she doesn't care. She's tried to be very involved.
Yes.
And I've been like, "Mum, it's all sorted, don't worry."
Yeah. Because she works full-time and
she works full-time. She's busy. She's got grandkids. She's running around. But she is excited to be there. And I think she's actually going to do something with the soup. We're having soup the day after.
What are you going to do about now all the inevitable? Are you having, when are children coming and all the rest of its things? Because I even don't really want to ask you, because it just feels like that's what we do, right? When you get together with someone, then you get married, and then it's like when and if and everyone. And
I suppose.
It's just like people will
Although
ask.
these days, people, it's more about you get your house first, isn't
Yeah.
it? And then you might think about kids, and then you might think about a wedding.
Well, that's true.
Because it's like
You've got the fur baby.
got the fur baby. We've talked about kids. I used to think hard yes, and he was sort of on the fence. And now we're both thinking life's busy enough. Also, quite lucky being two men, we don't have to worry too much about a ticking time bomb.
Oh, you don't.
That is the womb. And I, talked a lot of our female friends are in that age now where they're pumping their kids out. They've just had one.
Yeah, well, at 36, if you hadn't got them, you'd be thinking about it, and it was your burning desire.
Yeah.
Each to their own.
But it's such a huge thing. And then if you don't have a boyfriend or a partner yet, you're counting backwards going, all right, well, you got to give me a year to meet one, then you got to give me 2 years to get to know them, and then we've got to maybe get engaged, and then the kid. So, I mean, it's just incredibly stressful. So in a lot of ways, we don't...
Get knocked up at 17, I say.
Get it out of the way.
Just get it out of the way.
No, exactly.
Yeah, so you guys will just work your way through it.
We'll work our way through it. At this stage, it's a no to children. Yeah.
But who knows?
Who knows? When we turn 40,
yeah,
I don't know, maybe we'll change our minds.
Maybe. Okay, now I think we're going to move into talking about public opinion, because you're about to go on that job again and you're paid to have opinions, right?
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
You are. So you are going to be interviewing people again. You're going to be in that public eye. You're going to get public feedback. How are you going to take that?
Mainly, most of it I say ignore. Because it's particularly when it comes to social media and stuff like that, I tend to stay away from it. I think it gets the extremes. And also what's published on there is usually just a snippet of whatever's happened, or the context around something that's been said has been taken and stripped away. So the responses to it are therefore stripped of context as well.
Yeah.
So it's not something that I think you should pay too much attention to. However, I think it's important to have people around you who, and when I say normal people, I mean people who have nothing to do with this crazy media world, who you can talk to and sound out, and people who you have vastly different views and opinions to sort of do it that way. Not to say you don't read the feedback or the emails that come in. I always read the emails that come in. I think if someone's taken the time to write an email and, address it to you, I think it's worthy of their effort that you read it. I try to keep it in perspective. Don't get dragged into the extreme kind of response thing, and always make sure that your phone is far away from you when you get home.
Yeah. And so when you are interviewing and perhaps having, putting your opinion forward, are you more doing it because you think that there's people at home that will be thinking about that question or where it's going? How much of it is you being the journalist for your listeners as with your own opinion?
Good question. It depends on the issue, but there have been times where I think probably when I'm most animated is when I am asking the question for me. But I wouldn't ask it if no one at home was interested, because otherwise, what are you doing? You're losing your audience. But if there's something that particularly grates me, or I feel like a politician is being disingenuous in a position, then that's when that's when I get stuck in.
Well, how do you hold people to account though then? I mean,
Well,
I'm a public servant now. I was about to get political then.
You go back and you look at things that they have said, you look at promises that they have made, and then you compare those to what they're telling you now, what the stats are telling you about the state of the economy or the country or whatever it is they said that they promised to do or fix or whatever. That's how I've always done it.
Yeah.
Good bit of research, bit of elbow grease, and then some.
And there is a lot of prep.
Yeah.
And so will you prep the night before for a 5 a.m.er?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at some shows it's like, you throw everything out of the window and you start afresh in the morning. But generally, you'll know a couple of your interview subjects, or at least the talent for those interviews the day before. And so you would prep at home 100%.
Yeah.
And then you always need 2 hours before a show to prep, in the office. So if the show starts at 5, you need to be there by 3.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Well, and as you say, because really you're coming on at 5 to do that synopsis of what's happened overnight, clean up of the day, and then you'd have a couple of set interviews.
That's it.
You'd have some regular slots like Kate had, I imagine.
Yeah, similar kind of vibe.
Yeah.
That's your responsibility. Your responsibility is while people are sleeping from 3 till 5, you're going around the world and saying what it is that they need to know the most, order it in terms of importance, and then make sure that they are aware of what's going on.
I saw you described as having a touch of non-woke Paul Henry.
Ooh.
Have you heard that?
Okay, no, I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Who said that? Someone online?
Yeah, probably. My auntie Googling. No. Journo said it. Non-woke Paul Henry.
Oh, goodness me. Well, Paul Henry was a fantastic broadcaster.
Heck yeah.
So that's very flattering, I suppose.
Do you consider yourself a conservative, or are you getting more conservative as you get older?
No, I don't consider myself a conservative. Socially conservative, no way.
No.
No, I mean, look at the state of me. I had long hair, I sleep with men. What?
You did the bun for a while.
I did the man bun thing.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm socially conservative. And to be honest, I think there aren't many. Well, I mean, it depends. If you compare us to other countries and stuff like that, I don't think New Zealand has a hell of a lot of social conservatives, and certainly not as conservative as you would have in places, even like Australia, for example.
Yeah, no, it's true.
But no, I don't think I'm a social conservative. I wouldn't classify myself in that way.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to it?
Oh, the wedding. Can't wait. Can't wait. I am getting a bit nervous. Just, I don't know why.
Yeah. Okay, so we're not going to have public photos, but you'll show me a photo next.
I'll show you a photo.
Okay, well, that's all I need.
Yeah.
That's all I need.
Yeah.
All right, I'll be happy with that. Okay, this is your moment. It's called Ask Me Anything.
Oh, yeah.
So, Ryan, you get to ask me something. I hope you haven't done too much thought into this.
I thought of it this morning.
Okay, good.
It's not... I can't remember. We can cut this, eh? We can...
No, because we're laughing now, so...
Can you show me your tattoos?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. That would mean me admitting publicly.
Okay, so we can cut this. I thought you had.
No, never.
Sorry. You can start again.
No.
Okay. I thought you had.
But then I'm still not admitting it.
No, you haven't. So what's the answer to the question?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm just still not admitting it. That everyone's entitled to some privacy.
Fair enough.
Right, we're moving on. I can see the producer typing furiously because she's quite excited.
Anyway, I don't know that you do.
This is a Mark Richardson outing you moment. That's what it is.
It's just a rumour. I don't know.
All right, thanks for coming in. Do I mean that or not? I'm not sure now. No, I do. Thanks for coming in, and it'll take more than anything like that to embarrass me. Okay, so everyone will be able to hear you on Early Edition, 5 till 6, Newstalk ZB, Monday the 8th of July.
Correct.
We are on. And that's it for another episode and another season of Ask Me Anything. You can get in touch with me by emailing us, Paula at nzherald.co.nz. But I am going to be taking a few weeks off, so don't expect me to get back to them too quickly. Make sure you follow Ask Me Anything. Go back and listen to them. They're fantastic on iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. I'll be back in a couple of months with more fabulous guests in September. I'm Paula Bennett. Ask Me Anything. Goodbye.